Before we dive into today's story, I want to pause for just a moment and share something important. If you believe in stories that are real, raw, and heartfelt, stories that stay with you long after the screen goes dark, then I need you to do one thing right now. Subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notification bell so that every time I share a chapter of my life, every reflection, every memory, every lesson, you won't miss a single moment. Here's the thing. The stories I tell aren't just entertainment. They are pieces of a chapter of my life begins my soul. Moments from my life that have shaped who I am. If even one of them touches you, makes you pause, or inspires you to think differently about your own journey, then I've done my job. So take a deep breath, settle in, and allow me to take you back to a chapter of my life that still lives in me, vivid and unforgotten. Hello, everyone. My name is Nora. Today, I want to open a door to a time in my life that left an indelible mark on my heart. Some memories fade over the years. They soften, blur, and become like old photographs, edges curling, colors dimming. But some memories stay sharp, alive, as though you could reach out and touch them, as though they replay every time you close your eyes. This is one of those. Memories. It's a story about love. Not the flashy cinematic kind with fireworks and grand gestures, but the quiet, steady love that builds you from the inside. It's about family, about protection, about growth, and about the invisible lessons that follow you long after childhood ends. This chapter begins when I was 18, living in Italy, a country that, for me, was more than just scenic landscapes or historic architecture. Italy was alive, breathing through its cobblestone streets. My family, strength, creativity, and love sun-drenched plazas and balconies dripping with flowers. The city I grew up in had streets where footsteps echoed at night, carrying secrets of those who had walked them before. The sunlight had soul. She could take an empty, cold space and fill it with warmth, life, and personality. Together, they were balance itself. Logic paired with creativity, strength with grace. Despite demanding careers, they never let work intrude on the moments that mattered most. Evenings were sacred. Dinner was a time to be together, to talk, to listen. We were more than a group of people sharing a house. We were connected intentionally, emotionally. And then there were my brothers, Joseph and Anthony, twins 2 years older than me. Yet in my eyes, they were larger than life. Not because of height or strength, but because of presence. They were my protectors, confidants, occasional tormentors, and sometimes the loudest voices of encouragement in my life. There's a rare magic in having everyday moments that matter. Siblings who blend love and laughter seamlessly, who tease endlessly, but also stand as the first line of defense when life becomes overwhelming. Being the youngest, I was often called the little princess. At first, I rolled my eyes every time they said it, but secretly, I loved it. It reminded me I mattered, that I was cherished. They teased me about being dramatic, about overthinking. Yet, when someone made me feel unsafe or upset, they were the first to act. There's something reassuring about older brothers who make you feel protected in a world that sometimes feels unpredictable. Background and our conversation became the main event. That afternoon wasn't extraordinary, but it captured something essential about our bond presence. They were always present that as I moved through my teenage years, life became more complicated. 18 is an age of contradictions. You are expected to be mature, yet you're still discovering yourself. You see yourself in mirrors and sometimes feel like a stranger. Social comparisons begin to creep in. Classmates, friends, strangers online. You question your body, your personality, your worth. Some days, confidence feels fragile. Some days you change outfits multiple times because nothing seems right. A single comment from someone at school can linger far too long in your mind. Yet, my brothers noticed. Anthony had a calm, steady, aren't built on grand gestures alone. They are built on consistency, on quiet acts repeated over time. The way someone checks you got home safely. The way they remember your favorite snack. The way they sit beside you when you're quiet without forcing conversation from Joseph and Anthony. I learned about boundaries and respect before I even fully understood the words. Love, I learned, isn't possession. It's empowerment. As I grew older and began forming relationships outside my family, I measured them unconsciously against what I had learned at home. Respect, encouragement, presence. If those growing into adulthood elements were missing, I noticed it immediately. Looking back, I realized how fortunate I was. Not everyone grows up with siblings who double as mentors, friends, and protectors. Sometimes we only grasp the depth of what we had once it becomes memory. Italy itself became intertwined with these experiences. Narrow streets, evening lamps, the summer air drifting through open windows. They are all woven with laughter, teasing, and quiet conversations. Time moves forward relentlessly. Yet the foundation my family built remains unshakable. The greatest lesson my brothers gave me. Love is an action. It is showing up, listening, protecting without controlling, guiding without suffocating. That as I matured, I also began understanding my parents in a new light. Their busy schedules were not absence. They were dedication. They worked tirelessly to provide stability, security, and opportunity. Watching them balance ambition and family taught me resilience, the kind that carries you through life's challenges. When I reflect on that chapter of my life, I feel gratitude above all else. Gratitude for ordinary days that became reflections on parents' extraordinary. Gratitude for siblings who stood beside me. Gratitude for a home filled with laughter. If there's one thing I want you to take from this story, never underestimate the quiet moments, the small conversations, the playful teasing. Those are the memories that anchor you. Family may not be gratitude and closing thoughts perfect, but when care, respect, and consistent presence exist, the foundation is unshakable. Think about your life now. Who has been your steady presence? Who has supported you quietly but profoundly? Have you expressed your gratitude? Sometimes the smallest gestures create the deepest impact. Thank you for sharing this time with me. If this story resonated, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. More chapters await, each one raw, honest, and full of reflections that shape me. Until next time, cherish your loved ones, nurture your relationships, and remember, real love is shown, not just spoken.